What if I told you that almost everything you've been led to believe about natural talent is, well, wrong? Today, we're going to dig into a pretty groundbreaking idea that greatness isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. We're diving deep into the whole concept of hidden potential. So let me ask you a question right out of the gate. When you see someone who is just absolutely exceptional at what they do, a true genius in their field, is your first thought, wow, they were just born that way? Or do you think maybe there's a little more to the story? And here it is. This is the core idea that completely changes the game. Potential is not some lottery ticket you get handed at birth. Nope, it's a structure, something you build, one brick at a time. And honestly, this one single concept is the key to unlocking everything else we're going to talk about. All right, so first things first, we have to tear down this really persistent myth, this idea of natural talent. We're all fascinated by the prodigy, right? The person who just makes it look so easy. But that whole story, it kind of hides the real truth. This completely reframes how we think about genius. It's not about some magical starting line that only a few people get to stand on. It's really about the gritty determination to just not quit when things get hard. The real superpower isn't talent, it's persistence. You know, you can really boil this down to two totally different ways of looking at the world. Talent is this idea of a fixed gift. You either have it or you don't. But potential, on the other hand, is a skill you can actually build. It's like a muscle that gets stronger the more you work it. So what even is potential then? Well, it's not a thing you have. It's a set of skills you use. How quickly you pick things up, how well you adapt when things change, and your sheer will to keep going. That is potential in action. Okay, so if potential is something we build, then what are the blueprints? It turns out it's not about mindlessly grinding away for thousands of hours. It's about practicing smarter. You have to practice better, not just harder. And there's this really powerful framework for growth called scaffolding. Here's how it works. First, you stretch yourself just a little bit outside your comfort zone. And yeah, you're gonna stumble. That's actually the point. Then you learn from that stumble and adjust your approach. Finally, you just repeat that cycle, building on what you've learned. That, right there, is the engine of real progress. But what about confidence? We're so often told we need to be confident before we can even start something new. But what if that whole idea is completely backward? See, confidence isn't the spark that starts the fire. It's the fire that's built. It all starts small. You take one manageable step. You get a small win. That little win builds a tiny bit of belief. And that belief is what fuels the next, slightly bigger step. It becomes this powerful, self-perpetuating loop. And here's where things get really transformative. As that momentum keeps building, it actually starts to reshape your identity. You stop being the person who just wants to do something, and you become the person who does it. Your actions are literally forging who you are. But, you know, what about all those inevitable struggles along the way? We're so conditioned to see them as failures or setbacks, but what if they're actually the most important part of the entire journey? It's a really simple but profound truth. Comfort is where potential goes to die. It's resistance that brings it to life. Every single struggle is a piece of data. It's a signal pointing you directly toward the areas where you have the most room to grow. But look, this isn't just some internal solo journey. The environment you put yourself in, the people, the challenges, the expectations around you, that can either be a cage that holds you back or a launch pad for your potential. This means you have to be the architect of your own growth. You have to actively seek out the rooms where you're challenged, not just the ones where you're comfortable. Surround yourself with people who pull you up, not the ones who hold you back, and chase the challenges that are going to force you to evolve. You and only you get to decide if your environment is a headwind or a tailwind. So what's the final key to all this?
It's realizing that your potential isn't just sitting around waiting for some magical lightning bolt of inspiration to strike. No, it's waiting for a flicker of courage. It's unlocked not by waiting, but by doing.
So just forget the whole question of whether you were born with it. It's the wrong question to even ask. Because in the end, talent is optional. But you know what isn't optional? Showing up day after day after day. That's what builds the skill. That's what forges the identity. And that is what truly unlocks your potential. Consistency is everything. So here's what I want you to walk away with. Your potential isn't a gift you've been given. It's a structure that's just waiting to be built. So the only real question left is, what will you build?